Oh dear. What an awkward situation.
Welcome to MsMojo, and in this installment of Versus, we're pitting 2014's Maleficent against 2021's Cruella.
Madam, are you celebrating?
Oh, indeed I am. A grand celebration for a baby. How wonderful.
All right, we should put on some music or something. Lighten the mood.
For this matchup, we'll be looking at the various elements of both Disney villain solo movies and determining which one gave us the fresher spin on the classic characters. As we'll be going in depth as to how these films operate, a spoiler warning is in effect. Which of these was your favorite? Let us know in the comments. Round 1, Lead Performance. This is going to be a tough category to parse out a victor, but we'll do our best. To start with, Maleficent was essentially built on the back of Angelina Jolie's star power and screen presence, and is without a doubt the primary contributor to its box office take.
Don't be afraid.
I am not afraid.
Then come out.
Then you'll be afraid.
Though Disney deserves credit for this perfect casting, Jolie breathes new life into the iconic villain in ways we didn't before think possible. Giving a performance that evokes the cadence of classic film actresses, Jolie finds an ideal bridge between 1959's Sleeping Beauty and modern sensibilities.
And to show I bear no ill will, I too shall bestow a gift on the child.
Not only that, but she provides enough nuance that we fully believe when she's being wicked, and when she's displaying a great level of pathos.
I like you begging. Do it again.
Also tasked with taking an otherwise despicable character and suffusing her with relatability, Emma Stone is similarly one of the best things about her film.
You certainly made a splash.
I'm just getting started, darling.
Whereas Jolie's character undergoes more of a straightforward transformation from bad to good, Stone's is more the opposite, as her Estella begins to adopt the titular persona. As expected, Stone has to ride a very fine line between nastiness and likability, and she pulls it off with aplomb.
I'm Cruella. Born brilliant. Born bad. And a little bit mad.
Putting the cruel in Cruella, she makes us buy the possibility that she may go down the dark path befitting of the source material.
You have the talent for your own label. Whether you have the killer instinct is the big question.
I hope I do.
However, expertly layered is the amount of heart we need in a Disney protagonist. While both actors give tremendous performances, we can't ignore the commanding work given by Angelina Jolie.
This curse will last to the end of time! No power on earth can change it!
In a movie that, on the whole, may not hold up for the rest of time, her turn feels timeless to us. Winner, Maleficent. Maleficent 1, Cruella 0. Round 2, Supporting Characters. Even though Maleficent was the Angelina Jolie show, it wasn't without some solid supporting players.
For in the other kingdom, the Moors lived every manner of strange and wonderful creature.
Naturally, this being a live-action reimagining, we got to see more fully fleshed out versions of the characters introduced in Sleeping Beauty. Given a much greater role is that of Maleficent's Raven, this time named Diaval, whose human transformations allow a much more pronounced friendship to exist between the two.
What have you done to my beautiful self?
Would you rather I let them beat you to death?
I'm not certain.
Stop complaining. I saved your life.
Since Maleficent eventually becomes the protagonist, King Stefan assumes the villain role, arguably becoming even more dastardly than the animated Maleficent. And of course, Elle Fanning is perfect as the updated Aurora, proving this Disney princess is more than just a pretty face.
I'm almost 16, Godmother. I can take care of myself.
As good as Emma Stone is in Cruella, she's not the only Emma giving a career highlight performance.
Well, that's enough. New show. We must be perfect. Now go.
Emma Thompson shines as the Baroness von Hellman, exuding a haughtiness and underlying menace that convinces us the role was written specifically for her.
Here's to me. Who the hell else would I drink to?
Similar to Stefan, the Baroness provides an arguably stronger antagonistic foil to our titular antihero. And though that interplay would be enough for a movie to hang its hat on, Cruella has a pair of friends turned reluctant henchmen in Jasper and Horace as a foundation for her character. Played by Joel Fry and Paul Walter Hauser, the characters feel much more three-dimensional and provide oodles of sharp comedic relief.
Really? We're gonna have to get invasive.
Though there are memorable side characters in both films, the ones in Cruella work better as an ensemble and have more agency, to the point that we feel like it could be all of their movie.
We were like a family.
Horace, let's go.
A family that's good at
Get dressed!
stealing stuff.
I'm really sorry. Do you know if Piccadilly is...
Winner, Cruella. Maleficent won, Cruella won. Round 3, Character Arc. Taking classic Disney villains and turning them into heroes, you've gotta know that the movies would be devoting much of the runtime to those shifts in character.
I know who you are.
Do you?
Maleficent features scenes that mirror some of the character's dastardly deeds in Sleeping Beauty, but her emotional arc is much more nuanced.
I had wings once, they were stolen from me. That's all I wish to say about it.
Specifically, they managed to make her a tragic character from the get-go, giving her a backstory that sees her betrayed by the person she loves and stripped of her defining feature, her wings. That would be enough to make anyone turn bad for good. But Maleficent sees the errors of her ways when she comes to love Aurora as if she were her own, and ultimately is the one to save her with true love's kiss.
Hello, Godmother. Hello, Beastie.
Conversely, Curella offers a more streamlined narrative for the infamous dog napper.
From the very beginning, I've always made a statement. Not everyone appreciated that.
That's unfortunate.
But I wasn't for everyone.
Though she too has a traumatic childhood as she's orphaned and takes to the streets, we get to learn more about what she wants as a person as she enters the cutthroat world of 1970s London fashion. We get a fun working girl story reminiscent of The Devil Wears Prada, but that soon shifts as Estella seeks revenge against the Baroness for the murder of her mother.
Who exactly? Just narrow it down for me.
On the cliff. You called your dogs on her.
Okay. Now I'm with you. Oh, that's why you're peeved.
Of course, there's one more revelation that changes a few things, but from here, the main source of conflict comes from the character's dual nature, as the Cruella side of her starts to take over.
And she's a homicidal maniac, and you're not.
We don't know that yet. I'm still young.
Though we love that drive, it's important for her to retain some of the good-hearted girl she's always been. The character arcs in both films are paramount to their successes in the storytelling department, but we have to give the edge to the one in Maleficent for being the driving force and the soul of the whole thing.
No truer love.
Winner, Maleficent. Maleficent 2, Cruella 1. Round 4, Visuals and Costumes. With a budget upwards of $250 million, you've gotta know that Maleficent was going to have some dazzling visuals.
What a glittering assemblage, King Stefan.
From the beginning, we get to see a land called the Moors, a mystical realm where the fairy Maleficent originates. CGI creatures abound as the movie gets to be a little creative with its world building, presenting a lush, vibrant alternative to the human kingdom.
It's everything I imagined it would be.
There's a little uncanny valley to be found, such as in the designs for Knotgrass, Thistlewit, and Flittle, but otherwise the film is a visual feast befitting any other Disney remake.
And she invited Aurora to see how the Moors had been once, long ago, when Maleficent was but a child and her heart was bright. For now, it was again.
Matching the aesthetic came a series of costumes that would make jaws drop in real life. We mean, just look at those horns. All that said, you've gotta figure that a movie set in the world of fashion would come through with the costumes. And Cruella does just that, evoking the styles of 70s London but adding its own flair to boot.
Fashion riots in Regent's Park broke out today. Cruella. Some call her a designer, others a vandal.
It seems in every scene we get a new creative outfit to emulate. From Estella's more reserved yet totally adorable workplace looks, to every bold choice Cruella makes.
1965 collection.
Oh, no wonder I love it. It's mine.
I fixed it.
Oh, Sid. Do. I insist. I'm intrigued. And that never happens.
Seriously, she managed to make literal garbage look fresh and appealing. Naturally, the film is going to use less CGI than the fantastical Maleficent, but where it does come in, it's pretty seamless. Namely, the design of the dogs as they perform stunts that you understandably couldn't get real dogs to do.
And in that moment,
Touch the ground!
the best I could think to do was run.
Honestly, if this category were only visuals, it would probably go to Maleficent. And if it were only costumes, Curella would be our choice. But getting the two to complement one another can be a difficult task. One we think Cruella does just a teensy bit better.
I'd like to remind you all that I'm doing this in heels.
Winner, Cruella. Maleficent 2, Cruella 2. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Round 5. Story. Falling in line with the basic plot structure of Sleeping Beauty, and simply reorienting certain details to shift the focus to the title character, Maleficent does a pretty tremendous job at paying proper homage to the animated film, while still feeling original enough to stand on its own.
So you see, the story is not quite as you were told.
Bucking traditional Disney themes on the clear dichotomy of good and evil, the opening shows how a simple act of greed fissures the human and magical kingdoms, leading to Maleficent's bitterness, and using the innocent Aurora as a means to her revenge.
The princess can be woken from her death sleep, but only by true love's kiss.
However, love really can heal old wounds, as Maleficent's caring for the princess prompts her to fix her mistake and unify the realms in peace.
In the end, my kingdom was united not by a hero or a villain, as legend had predicted, but by one who was both hero and villain.
Acting as an origin story, Curella dips its toes more so into the crime genre, as Estella and her family of followers seek retribution against the fashion mogul known as the Baroness for the murder of her mother.
Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Well, I'd like to add one more. Revenge.
This leads to numerous jaunty heists and power plays, but the more Estella becomes Cruella, the more cruel and the more selfish she gets.
Cruella gets things done. Stella does not. And I have things to do.
Her identity crisis only becomes more complicated when she learns her true parentage. Now more than ever incensed by the bad hand life has dealt her, Cruella is nevertheless able to keep herself from stooping to the same level of depravity. Also finding that sweet spot between adaptation and reimagining, Cruella is a creative take on the character that we can definitely get behind.
So what now?
I've got a few ideas.
Both films do tremendous work with finding new stories for the characters to explore, but the sheer ingenuity and moving parts to Cruella was a real highlight.
I want to make art arty. And I want to make trouble. You in?
I do love trouble.
Winner, Cruella. Maleficent 2, Cruella 3. Even though Cruella is the reigning queen of villain-oriented movies, The real winner is us for getting 2 solid adaptations, and Disney, really. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.